Hey everyone, Adam here. Fall League season is here. That means it is time for 8 Ball, so I'm going to celebrate by playing a set against the Ghost in 8 Ball. Rules are pretty simple. I break every rack. No matter what happens on the break, if balls are made or if I scratch or jump off the table or whatever, I get ball in hand. And if I run out all of either the stripes or solids and make the 8 Ball, I win and I get a point. If I don't and miss at any point, I scratch at any point, I don't run out, then the Ghost gets a point. It is a race to 5, and let's over to the table and get this thing going. All right, because I get the break every time, I'm breaking from the center to get a better spread. I've also been incorporating more center breaks back into my league play based on how I'm feeling and how the table's breaking. I kind of want, I start out with the second ball break from the side, and that tends to work well. But if I'm not making a ball, or if I see that opponents are making a ball hitting from the center, I'll do the same. So that said, let's get going here. Another thing that I'm kind of paying attention to is, and Matt and I decided we're going to play a set like that maybe this weekend, when our leagues are based on opponent, our points, handicap points based on number of balls left by the opponent on the table. So I may take some harder runouts to try to get more points, as it will, even though it doesn't matter in this thing against the Ghost. However, I say that and I take solids the first thing. I liked where the 6 and the 8 were better for solids than I did for stripes with the 15 there. Either of them were okay. I also thought the 12 was a little bit harder to get onto. I would have had to get onto the 13 kind of in this line and play out for it. Not a big problem, but I mean, it just seems a little bit easier to play solids here. And I've already made the first 2. I made 2 stripes and a solid on the break. Definitely a decent break to start out. And looking at angles here, it looks like I should come over. It depends on where I am. I either draw back to where I am for the 2 or kind of follow it a little bit more down here for the 4. Looks like I'm going to draw it for the 2. That's fine. And this one, if the 4 goes down in this lower left, which I don't think it does, I could hold right here for it. Otherwise, just kind of come one rail over through here or this way through that way. Or ignore the 2 ball and take the 6 ball and just follow down to the 4. Yeah. So follow one rail to the 4. I can play this 2 different ways. I can be on the short side, or I can come up on the above the pocket and play it that way. Depends on how I feel. With this angle, it looks like I'm just going to follow it straight forward. Yep. Little bounce off the rail just to get me. So I'm not on the rail for the 8. It looks like I'm kind of on the wrong angle for that, but that should be fine. Basically, just play this, try to get off the rail if I can. Otherwise, just leave it there, take the short cue, and take my medicine on it. Yeah, I bounce it out a little bit. That should be enough. 8 and a side, that should be game 1. I started out how I usually start these videos out. I played maybe 3 racks of warm-up. I think I won one of those. I don't really remember. I know I just wasn't shooting all that great. I've been sick on and off. Here come the excuses. I've been sick on and off for 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure I just got over COVID, but for the second time in 2 months or whatever it's been. But this is my first real play since I've been sick, and it worked out okay. It was on the 24th of September, and I'm narrating this on the 27th of September. So that break I did scratch. It doesn't matter because I'm playing ball in hand off the break anyway, no matter what happens. Looking here, solids look good. There's a little bit of an issue with the 5, maybe a little bit of an issue with the 3. The 1, I should have looked at closer because you're going to see that might become an issue. We'll see. But taking the 3 was one of the problems out of here. With ball in hand, I can just kind of follow this forward a little bit to get a shot on the 6. Instead, for some reason, I just stopped it there. I really wanted it to be like here. Not enough to bridge over the 8, but just enough to kind of play a stop shot, leave the cue ball here and play the 1. Instead, I have to play this at a different angle, come back across the other rail, and come back out for the 1. It worked, but I much rather would have had the easier shot. Now here, I'm pretty sure I'm going to hit the 12. What I'm trying to do is at the other side of the 12, you have the cue ball come over here and like float up this way. Instead, I come right into the back of the 12 and stop. I do have the 7 as insurance. That was kind of always the plan that way, but not really happy about how I left this. This is kind of a mess. I have to kind of jack up a little bit and stop it. Leave the cue ball somewhere in this area for either the 4 or the 2 in the side, depending on which one I get better on. And I almost just spilled my water all over the desk. I had a little bit more angle than it looks like here, and I was able to bounce off the rail and get pretty good on either of these balls. Probably want to take the 4 first if I can, because if I take the 2 first, I'm going away from the going down this way and don't want to get stuck down there. I am right at where the table is, and of course, instead of moving the table, I'll just take the extension off my cue. I do play with a 3-inch extension on the cue at all times. I may do another what's in the case video. I did one a while ago. But this one's pretty easy. Just played it forward. I have a shot on the 2. A couple different ideas of getting on the 5. I could play it kind of here and back to play it up here. I don't know if I like that as much. Kind of looking at where the 5 goes. It goes down here. If I can leave the cue ball somewhere over here. Or I can just play it on the side. I think I can play on the side. I'm just looking to see where I can get on the 2 so I can get back on the 8. Because if I do this, the cue ball is going to go into the 8 here. I think what I can do is just stop it right here. The 8 will drift up a little bit and I'll have a shot on the 2 to get back on the 8. That's exactly what I did. Just bump the 8 a little bit. Make sure I have this shot on the 2. Now, I don't really like wrapping it out of the corner because the 9's a huge ball. And as soon as it hits the 9 or comes in between these two, I get stuck. I probably should have looked at this for a little bit longer. Instead, I decided to draw straight out and back over. But because I don't have as much of an angle, you could tell I'm already not happy with it because I'm standing up and getting it back up off the shot, which I am trying to do more lately. But I think instead of taking this, I should have looked at it a little bit longer because I didn't get as much power in it, and now I'm about a quarter ball snookered on the 10. I suppose I probably could have tried to cut it way over here, but I figured I haven't played a shot with a jump cue in many months and I don't really practice with it, so what perfect time to use it than in a match versus a ghost in a high pressure situation where it can be really easy to hit the 10 ball or not even make this jump. I have had some neck surgeries, so I have problems getting the sidearm with my neck the way that the angle needs to be, so I have to go straight on with this, as you can see here, and I can use the dart method as well. I feel more comfortable doing this, and I can kind of see I'm already overcutting it, so breaking around onto the 8 and miss is a loss for me, and the ghost ties it up at 1, and we'll get on to the second game here. Hopefully I won't have to use a jump cue again, or maybe I should practice with it. The main pool hall I play in doesn't allow jump shots, so we never bring out the jump cue, so I don't know. I probably should practice more with it. Not crazy about that. I'm going more for the pop, or just a flat cue where the cue ball just pops a little bit. That one I got way too much follow on it. As you saw, the cue ball kind of shot into the pack. I don't know if I made anything here. 2, 4, 7... 3, 4. No, I did not make anything here. Looks like it, but I didn't. So I'm looking at what to take here. I think because of the way the 4, the 5, the 11, and the 14, kind of these 5 balls are, I like solids better. I can play basically a stop shot here, then get the 4 and the 5 out of the way, and then everything's opened up. I did not play for the 4, I played for the 2 instead. probably should have looked at that a little bit differently. I mean, I got to get the 2 out. I have to get the 1 out anyway, but it's not bad. I can take the 1, come off the rail here, come out for the 6, or if I go too far, I can get the 4. I could take the 7. I'm pretty straight on it though, and I don't really want to draw straight back because then I can get all over the place. I'm surprised I'm actually taking this. But what I want is I wanted the 4 more straight in, which is why I should have taken it right after the 3 ball, because now I have to take the 1 to try to get on the 4 or the 6. And I made the 1 a little bit harder for myself and undercut it just a hair, being almost a diamond, and I missed. And the ghost is now up 2-1. I think that was just a case of a bad shot selection there. I should have gone for the 4 right away off the 3. The 2 and the 1 and the 6 and the 7 were all there, so I don't know why I didn't just get the 4 and the 5 out of the way first. Trying to get my brake pad out of the way. Decent break here. Made 2 stripes, and that's it. 2 stripes. I made the 1 in the side pocket, which is really the balls I'm trying to go after. It's very similar to 10 ball. The break, the 2 balls behind the head ball and the 2 corner balls on the corner of the racks. These 2 have a tendency to go. Other balls tend to go as well from the head ball break. Now here, there's no place to get the 1 out. It looks like it could go in the side here, but it's really not a great shot. I could take the 4 and break the 8 out, but the 8's going to go kind of towards the 14. I may not have a shot. I could take the 4 and try to get the 10 or whatever this 12 is that I'm standing in front of. But again, the 8 and the 1, just kind of a weird situation. So what I want to do here is I want to take the 12 and knock the 1 out of the way, but also draw back so I can either get this 10 as my insurance or hopefully the 14, as long as I get behind the 8, somewhere behind the 8 ball here. So that's the plan here. If it were anything other than the 1 ball there, I would take solids and those would be the easier run, probably. Instead, I don't draw back enough, and I hit the 1 really thick. I thought I would hit it a little bit thinner and be able to draw off that. I do not have the 14 at all, and I have a harder shot in the 10. But I like these shots a lot. It's actually similar to the last shot in the last rack where I didn't get a leave. Just put draw a little bit outside on this. Take it center pocket, little help from the 9. I would have had a shot no matter what, either on the 13-9 or 14, depending on how the cue ball comes out. And now I pretty much just have to follow this forward a little bit, get a good angle like here on the 9. It's pretty good. And then 1 rail out towards the 14. I just don't want to overdo it because I don't want to get anywhere near this side pocket. I don't want to get anywhere near the 3 and the 5. Because I can play off of most angles in like this whole general area. So I played that with straight top. Unfortunately, I got really, really straight on this ball. I just decided the draw stroke was working pretty well. I'm just going to draw straight back for this because I can come back off the rail and have it come up anywhere in this area and still have a shot in the 8. Instead, I drew straight back, didn't hit the rail, and I'm like almost dead straight on the 8, straight in the pocket. So barring a major catastrophe like the ceiling caving in or the video cutting out, I should get this, and it's 2-2, tied again with the ghost. Felt pretty good about that. Minus the first shot, which was kind of an iffy one. I knew it had risk, but that's more of the pop I'm looking to get, but I'm not looking to get the cue ball kind of lost like that. I did make something. Made a solid. I do not have one of those cool fancy tool things, so I'm just kind of lifting the ball up, pulling the rack out, and putting the template out and putting the ball back down. I'm using the Teom rack template. I do like it a lot. I like it better than I think it's as thin as the gray Matchroom 9-ball template, which is super thin, and I think it racks the balls better than a Magic rack. So I'm looking at stripes here. because the 5 ball is a mess and I have no way to get on the 5 ball. I have no way to play anything off of those balls into the 5 ball. I have no way to really play a ball 1 rail into the 5 ball. The 6 doesn't really do it. The 1 doesn't do it. So I'm looking at stripes here, and this little moth guy flying around here is irritating me. And then I look at this 15 ball is obviously a problem too. Now I can get to it a couple different ways. I'm looking at following, playing the 13 here, just following into the 5, and I'll have another shot. But then I decide, I wonder if I can play this enough so I can hit it off the 15, have the 13 go in, and have the 15 come out and free itself up that way. And I should have a shot because I'm bringing the cue ball into this direction somehow. I'm just taking more time than normal because this is a really, really touchy shot. I want to make sure I get it right. When I line these up, I don't line them up to play any angle on them. I just line them up to play it so I shoot the ball straight. Now, what I was pointing at is the 15 went almost into the 8 and 10, which would have been great because I would have freed up that 10 ball. The 10 does go up here once the 12 is gone. It probably also goes down here, but the 3 is in the way. It does not go anywhere else. Here I'm kind of stuck. I have to play the 9 in the side, and I know I'm going into the 11, so I'm playing it with a little bit of speed. I don't really want to draw. Oh, you know what? I'm taking the 12 ball first. And then I'm going to take the 9 ball with the same plan that I had before. I could draw this way and out, but there's a lot of traffic there and there's a lot of bad things that can happen. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take it into the 11. Hopefully I get a shot somewhere. The 11 kind of frees up. The spot didn't really help it too much. It still goes here. I believe it also goes here, but I really can't get onto it that way. I don't know what's going on upstairs. There's a whole bunch of banging around. Sorry if you can hear that. You probably can't. You have no idea what I'm talking about. I think I just squashed a bug on the table, which is why I'm trying to get it out of the way with the 11 ball. So taking the 14 here, just the stop shot. Then I can take the 15 and depending on where I can get on the 10 pretty decent. If I just play 1 rail back with a little bit of right, I can come into this area, get either the 10 or the 11, depending on what happens. Basically here, take the ball that I get better angle on, which in this case is the 10. I could go for the 11 here and play a bumper off the 1, but then I'm going away from the 10. And I don't want to hit the 8. I don't want to get any stranger. So what I can do is just play the 10 and draw back to kind of this angle. Because I'm pretty straight in the 10 here. Yeah, kind of just stun over. Now I have kind of a tough situation here. I have to make the 11 past the 7. So I really only have maybe 3/4 of a pocket here. And I have to try to get the cue ball around the 3 without hitting the 4, obviously. And without hitting the 3. This shot is highly dependent on how much of the pocket I hit it into. If I hit it thin, it's going to miss. Or if I hit it thick, it's going to miss because it's going to hit the 7. And if I hit it too thin, I could lose the cue ball. I hit it a little bit too thick. It hit the 7, it did go in, but I got lucky bump off the 3. Basically, I'm straight in on the 8 ball. If you want a good shot to play, or a good drill to play, look up the Mighty X drill. And I do a lot of Mighty X straight in shots, both with draw, follow, and just stop shots. And they are straight in on the diagonals. So I'm up 3-2. Breaking to see if I can keep the momentum going. Didn't hit that one great. It was like a weird double bounce thing, but as I walk away, the 15 drops. It's kind of a weird rack here. Solids look good. Minus maybe the 7 ball, which I could get out of the way right away. Stripes look more congested, but it's almost like a color by number pattern is what I'm seeing here. And like the 9, 10, 12, 11 all go in the side. The 12 leaves the 13 easily, and the 14 does go past the 5 up here. The 9 also goes probably in both corners. And then the 8 ball is going to be wide open once these stripes are out of the way. So I decide to go for stripes. And I want to take this 11 or the 12 out, even though I'm bridging over the 8 ball. I want to get this out of here. This is the hardest ball to get or get position on. So I'm going to do this and drift down to the 11. But I actually got better on the 13. So I'm going to take that out of the way first. And then I'm getting back. I realized I need to get back kind of straight on the 14. And this is the perfect angle to go 2 rails out of the corner. Just like that. And just out of the corner there. Now, ideally, I'd like to get about here to play the 9 in the side over here. The 10 does go. I can also do that and play it somewhere else. I didn't follow it quite enough, but I also didn't want to get stuck behind this 5 ball because that's almost game over right there. That could actually, depending on if I would get on the 5, it could actually snooker me on all 3 solids, or all 3 stripes here. What I'm looking at, though, is I can play the 9 into the side, and I can do almost straight top, hit the 1, and the cue ball will come back and come this way without any side spin. Kind of just like that. And then I have the 8 stun down for the 11, and the 10 stun down for the 11 in the same pocket, and then bring it back to like here for the 8 in the corner, or the 8 has multiple pockets it can go into. I must be a little bit off angle here because, yep, you know what? I cannot stun where I'm going to do. So I'm looking at playing the 10 in and just following the cue ball to the rail and out a little bit. And then the 11 will go down here. And then I'll have a natural roll angle to the 8. And it looks like it was even straighter than what I drew because if I would have followed that, I would have gone right in the pocket. So this is actually decent job to get on the 11. Now I'm a little on the wrong side of it. I would have liked to have been like here. So the shot on the 8 is tough. Now I can stun draw it and bring it up here, jacking up. It's a nervy shot. It makes it missable. It makes it easy to overrun the 8, go this, too far this way, which would be okay. But then I realized I can just roll forward, and as long as I don't get too close to the 2 and 7, I can play a cue ball right about here and play the 8 up in the upper right corner. And that's a pretty good circle job there. And looking at it, I mean, solids didn't seem too bad. Maybe I took the harder run out, but I thought I played it well, and I thought I got the positions pretty much all where I wanted to. I'm now on the hill. Score is 4-2. We're playing to 5. And this is one of those where we're playing to 5 for sure because I wanted it to be a shorter set. And I wanted to make sure that any of the symptoms I had from being sick, dizziness and weird stuff like that, didn't come back to haunt me in the middle of the match here. Just doing spider patrol here. I have a perimeter LED light, and LED lights apparently attract these tiny little spiders in there. I did promise I would stop talking about them in these videos, so I will. So here I'm just looking at what I have on stripes and solids. These 2 are a mess, but the 4 does go past into this pocket depending on where I get. The 7 does go past the 15 up here, and then everything else is open other than these 2, but I can get, because I'm starting with ball in hand, I can take the 6 right away and basically play that. So the pattern here is going to be the 6, stop it or drop back just about where it is, then get the 4 out of there and then go from there. So now it looks like if I draw to right about where the spot is or so, I can play the 5, and I'd have the 2 as insurance if I didn't get there. Even a better line, a little bit closer to the 5, and I can still play the 2. I can probably even play the 1 if I wanted. Looking at the angle on the 1, maybe I don't have it on the side. I think the 8 is probably blocking it. So what I end up doing is I'm going to play the 5 here, kind of a spin center ball, and play the cue ball over here to get a leave on the 1, hopefully with also having like the 7 as insurance and maybe even the 3. Went a little bit further than I thought it would. However, I'm looking at the 3 on the side. I really don't like it. I like the 2 to the 3 to the 8 for my end balls. However, I am on the 7. In between this little gap, I can play the 7 here and just come out in the center of the table. I came too far. I was actually going for the 3 there. I kind of liked playing the 1 to the 2. Well, I suppose the 1 to the 2 with the 8 there is kind of goofy. Here, I have to stun this over and out. Like that. And here, yeah, you know what? This is bringing back memories and not very good ones. The 8 ball is a huge ball block in the natural angle from the 1 to the 2. So what I have to do is I have to play this and kind of force it into the rail with some upper right to hold this angle so that I can play the 2 in the side and then the 8. It makes the ball just a little bit more missable than normal, as you can see by the fact that I missed it. I did have a decent leave. I would have been able to play the 2 float down for the 8 on the other side probably, but that's not the way this game works. The Ghost wins. It's 4-3. I'm still on the hill, still breaking. Really good break there. I got the cue ball to kind of stop towards the middle. I made one of the side balls. Everything is open. There are no 2 balls touching each other. Nothing on the rail. The issue is going to be this. And in lesser, the 10. Now, I'm looking at the 11 because if the 11 would have gone in either of these pockets, I would play it now because everything else is pretty good. I can use the 9 to get to the 10 or the 15 to get to the 10, but it doesn't. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the 1 here and I'm spinning off of the rail, maybe hitting the 11 on the way back and then coming out this way. Yeah, hit the 11 a little bit on the way out. That was a legal shot. You can go back and look frame to frame. Although it doesn't even matter because it was open table at that point, so you can hit a stripe into a solid. So now I'm going to do the 4, then the 3. I do need to get somewhere around the spot for the 6 on the side. It's the only real ball I have to really worry about here. The 2 is pretty good if I just play kind of or spin out. I think I was spinning off with a 5 instead of the 2 there. So the 5 on the side, probably draw back. 2, follow down a little bit. 6 on the side, 7. I don't see a real issue with that. I think what happened though is I got really straight on this ball. And instead of following it down and leaving it like right on the rail here, I decided to follow, I shouldn't say straight, I got in the wrong angle, a little bit too straight. I wanted to play this in here and then follow the cue ball here, here, and all the way over for the 7. And then if I underrun it, I have the 6. If I underrun it big time, I have the 6 there. If I overrun it, I have the 7. Maybe I'm shooting for the gap between here based on how I looked at it. I need to play top left on here. And I did one of them, too much of one and not enough of the other. I got right behind the 9 ball. I cannot hit this 7. I can kick it, but I don't think there's enough room in here to kick it and aim it up here. And remember, because this is against the Ghost, I'm not just looking for a hit here. I have to try to not only make this 6 or 7, I have to get a leave on the other ball. So we're talking sub 5% shots here. And those are never good. In a real game, I would never want to try this shot. But what I'm doing is I'm calling the 6 on the side. Hopefully the cue ball makes it and drops down here. The hit is hard enough here as it is. And I underhit it by, I don't know, a foot. So that was no good. We are hill. And the Ghost is trying to put an end to me here for probably revenge versus the 10-ball match that I had a couple weeks ago. Let's see what we got on the last game here. This will be the last game in this set. I did not say let's just play to 7 and end it at 5, or let's play at 5 and go to 7 or anything. This is definitely a straight race to 7 here. Now, looking at this layout, the only issue for stripes is the 9-ball. The issue for solids are the 1 and the 3, and a little bit lesser extent the 2 and the 4. But because we start with ball in hand on every run, it makes more sense to take this 9-ball out of the way first. The 11 does go in this side. It's a little closer to the point, but it does go from a lot of different angles. So the plan is just to kind of come out here, play the 11 next, and then evaluate shots from there. A little bit of a stun follow there, and I got on it. I don't know if the 12 goes past. I don't think it does. It'd be good to take the 12 here if it did go past. I don't think it goes through here. I mean, I drew a line through there, but I don't think it really goes through there. So I'm taking the 12 out. The 15 is the obvious insurance ball, but I'm trying to get back on the 10. Like that. That'll work really well. I can play the 10, kind of just drift with some stun over to here. Play the 15 or 13 on the side. I didn't get as much follow as I wanted to there. A couple different ways I can play this. I can follow it one rail and out. I can draw it this way and out. I could take the 15 here if it really came down to it, bounce out and then take the 12. But I do want to take the 13 here. I remember not wanting to play side spin on this because I didn't want to affect the angle, so I just wanted to take what the table gave me. And now I have a really natural shot on the 15. I can spin out 1, 2, 3 rails past this ball and play it in the side here next, and then it leads right to the 8 ball. A lot of left spin on there, running English, a little bit of top as well, just kind of natural top as well, and I get really, really good on this because the natural angle is just going to float down a little bit for the 8. I wanted to stun a little bit more than just follow, just because I was feeling a little bit better about that shot than others. And now all I gotta do is make the 8, not scratch, and we have ourselves a win here. Let's see if I can do it. Dead center pocket, the scratch was never there. The 4-ball stops the cue ball, and I beat the ghost 5-4. So a little shorter video this time. I wanted to keep the sets a little shorter. Although I wasn't expecting this to go hill-hill based on the way I started out the first rack. And then surprised, it was hill-hill. But I once again got the ghost this time in 8-ball. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like these kind of videos, if you would rather see me play versus someone like my league partner Matt, or ghost videos, or any other sort of challenge. Leave it in the comments, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I guess we'll see you on the next one.